Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone watching, thank you for joining me today. We're going to be taking a closer look at the girl statue here. And as you can see in the background, we have several of our most popular or most defined artifacts here. Just kind of pick up one from the side here. And you guys can kind of see what we're looking at. What we're studying here is stone art. There's portraits of human beings on these stones. This was all found at a ceremonial site discovered in North Carolina, and it doesn't jump right out at you right away, but if you look closely, you can see the carvings and the coloration for the eye of this portrait that's on this stone. It's very interesting because there's just one small portrait here, and then if we expand on what we were just looking at, maybe make it look a little bigger, you can see that there may be another portrait over here as we tilt it. So you can see how now this blackened spot right there with the circles and the little lines coming out of it, if we tilt it, it turns into another whole face image. So this is a multifaceted style of art. Much of ancient art all over the world is multifaceted. A lot of people don't know about that, and for a lot of people, they don't care. But you obviously do, and so we're going to share some of the most defined artifacts here for you to look at. So this beautiful girl statue is one that I've been taking very good care of. I don't want this to fall in the same direction that the original gateway has. I left it out in the sun and didn't know a lot about what crystal can do if you leave it out. So you guys are, of course, recognizing this. That other jut that you see, it's actually another portrait, and we can try to explore that one. But if we tilt this portrait away, you can see how just the face of the young girl with her nose and her nostrils and her mouth and her eye carving is in there. And you can see how the rest of this is all of her hair. This is a very beautiful statue, and we're going to go ahead and turn it upside down and explore some more of this, but we're going to do it respectfully just because our archaeological professionals do not recognize this as ancient art. We know better. They should know better. Many of them do know better, but they just can't say that they know because that's their careers, and that's unfortunate. As a controls engineer, I am lucky enough to be able to choose what I want to do. So I don't work for weapons companies. I can quit jobs if I want to. Of course, it does require me to move out of state sometimes, which is what I've recently had to do. But it's funny because what I do for a living is very technologically advanced. And what I like to do for a hobby is very archaic or old. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic there. So what I'm seeing here, just looking at the stone like this, and I'll go ahead and zoom in just a little bit, is I'm seeing the eye carving right here. You can see how if I draw it out, kind of, the circle with the circle inside of it. And we can see the nose and then the line in the stone for the mouth. Just looking at the whole stone though, you can see that this is a painted piece of stone, and I don't want to handle it too much, so we're going to kind of breeze over this, and I'm going to put it right back in the fabric, and I'm going to do my best to take care of this one. But it is a very beautiful artifact, and it's important for us to learn about this, and so that we can start appreciating the sites that are there. There are sites that are destroyed every day and sites that are discovered and honored as well. And so what we want to do is start to, the beautiful carvings. We want to show that this art is worth it. It is a piece of our history, and I believe it's a piece of our consciousness. And so, I mean, I could just look at this all day. This is somebody's child, and you could think I'm ridiculous for saying that if you can't see it, but everybody can see this, especially in person. So let's go ahead and take a look at a much heavier artifact here, but I'm gonna go ahead and cover her back up and wrap her up in this. And really the way to take care of these painted crystal stones is to keep them out of the light, out of the oxygen, and don't touch them. I'm gonna pan you over here to show you all the painted crystals that I have. And I do have some incense going, which is kind of choking me out right now, as a matter of fact. But these are all painted pieces of quartz, crystal. Several of them are very brightly painted, as we can see in this example here. And so again, this is a very multifaceted, interesting style of art. These are the, as I've said from the very beginning, the idols, the pagan idols that they warned us about, right? So we don't worship them, you know, it's not about that. It's about understanding our history and understanding the indigenous peoples of America's history. I believe that we are all connected. As an Irish American, my lands were taken as well. And so we're all indigenous to somewhere. That's important to remember. And so you could say, go home and do this, right? Why don't you go to your place and do this? Well, my roots run deep, and I've got a lot of history in my family. And I'm not going to go too far into it, but we all have roots, and a lot of our families married into indigenous families, and we're kind of all mixed up. But just as a reminder, we've only been here for 300 years. If you could trace back further than your great-grandfather, then you're something special, because most of us know our grandparents and their parents, but after that, there's not much. And it's not like that everywhere in the world. So I hope you guys are able to see this portrait here on this one, now that you've kind of looked at some of the art a little bit. This is a very complicated, high-level stone, and this is a very easy one. So we can all see the human image here with the eye socket, the carvings inside of the eye, the nose, and the mouth there. Has a flat bottom, so you could set it out on its bottom there, and it is just a face statue. Learning stone, learning how to look at stone art isn't something that we're used to, so it does take a little bit of time, but if you go out into your creeks, into your rivers, and you're trying to look for these, you get a little hint of them, especially if you have ancient sites or mounds near your area. You're going to be able to find them. So they're everywhere, and being able to look for them and understanding what they mean is something that we're trying to do together. We don't know what they mean, and maybe we will never know what they mean. They may be tombstones. There's a lot of speculation and interpretation involved, right? For instance, for example, this artifact right here, it features mammoths. Has a lot of mammoths on it. I'll go ahead and show you. So whenever you see one mammoth, oftentimes you'll see another. So the top of the mammoth head and that little nub there, there's one mammoth on the outside. There's another mammoth on the interior of that. All these are trunks. It's a herd of mammoths. And what's on the bottom of it? That's the foot of a mammoth. So it's really interesting, and it's something that deserves research. And I hope that you guys got a kick out of this video. I think I'm about to finish it up, as we're just about at the 10-minute mark. But it takes a lot of energy to interpret these artifacts. It takes a lot of time to think about what I'm going to say. So I know you guys appreciate it, and I hope you guys really got a kick out of the last video, where we talked with the local Indigenous advisor and our HBO producer, who hopefully the documentary will be coming out soon. Thank you.